Let's begin tonight our very first conversation about the state police bill and the interests of President Bola Tinubu. Why does he want the state police bill to pass, or why does he want state police at this time? What is his interest? Is it to quench insecurity in Nigeria? Other than that, does he want reforms, or what exactly is the big picture here? So today, what we saw was that the presidency says it has commenced work on the proposed state police legislation that is now set September the 3rd, 2026 as the date for presenting the draft executive bill to President Bola Tinubu. The chairman of the Presidential Committee on the National Policing Bill, Mr. Femi Gbajabiamila, who is equally the chief of staff to the president, announced that the timeline earlier today after the committee's inaugural meeting at the State House in Abuja. Let me allow you to listen to what he said.
Now, this is a monumental reform that Nigerians have debated over for many years. The question before the country is how we transform our policing architecture to become more responsive to the realities of our communities. Thus, our central task is now to design a lawful, professional, and sustainable federal and state policing system that places greater capability closer to the people, while presenting national standards, national security, and the rights of every Nigerian. The constitutional amendment creates the authority, if you like, the permission, and broad architecture for federal and state policing. However, it does not by itself provide the complete operating system. It does not settle the questions on standards, certification, recruitment, training, funding, command, or jurisdiction complaints.
All right, let's get more insight on what this committee is doing, what the bigger picture is. The secretary of the committee and the senior special assistant to the president on planning and research, Mr. Dubey Mohalu. He's live for us here in Abuja studio. Many thanks for joining us, Mr. Mohalu.
Thank you very much for having me on this evening.
Thank you so much.
My name is Nnadubem Mohalu, and I am the secretary of the Presidential Working Group on the National Policing Bill.
Absolutely.
The working group is chaired by His Excellency, the Chief of Staff to the President, the Right Honorable Femi Gbajabiamila, and includes amongst its members the Honorable Attorney General of the Federation, the National Security Advisor, the Governor of Kwara State in his capacity as the Chairman of the Nigerian Governors Forum, the Governor of Ogun State in his capacity as the Chairman of the NGF's Committee on State Police, the Inspector General of Police, the President of the Nigerian Bar Association, and the Special Assistant to the President on Legal Affairs, Mr. Modibo Tomi Belgore, and of course, myself. That committee is the committee that has been tasked with the principal responsibility of drafting the National Policing Bill. The National Policing Bill will be the principal framework architecture for the principal framework document, implementation document for state policing in Nigeria. The constitutional amendment that has passed in the National Assembly provides the framework architecture, the bare bones, as it were, and the National Policing Bill will put some flesh on those bones. In addition to the National Policing Bill, there are a number of consequential amendments that must happen across the board, across other sections of our legislation, for us to be able to have proper implementation of a dual policing architecture in Nigeria. It is the work of the working group, it is the part of the mandate of the working group to produce those consequential amendments. When we have concluded this assignment, we will present it to Mr. President, who will then approve and transmit to the National Assembly.
So the committee has given itself 1 month,
yes,
from which it will now have a draft bill taken to the president for his own verification and onward movement or transmission to the National Assembly. Am I right?
Indeed, yes.
Give us an understanding. What is the dictate, the mandate of this committee? What are the terms of reference? What are you supposed to look into, and what are the don'ts for this committee?
So, the constitutional amendment bill that has passed in the National Assembly,
which the House, by the way, had jettisoned his own and said they will step it aside.
yes,
for in anticipation of President Bola Tinubu's bill.
well, the House did not step it aside in anticipation. The House stepped it aside after it received the executive transmission. So that bill has now passed in the Senate and passed in the House of Representatives, and will shortly be on its way to
with
the states.
speed of light, unusual speed.
It has not. It is that is a wrong.
There are
assertion.
curiosity. There are a lot of curiosity from Nigerians as to the intent, and those who are concerned that this needs to be subjected to scrutiny by the Nigerian people. If this bill is going to be for them, and the intent and the agenda of President Bola Tinubu about this, because constitutional amendment has been ongoing for several months now. And the manner in which it went in the National Assembly, where it was passed, raised a lot of curiosity.
So you cannot, on the one hand, say constitutional amendment has been going on for many months now, and in the same breath say the process has been rushed.
I'm talking about the bill that was sent to the National Assembly by the executive. That was what was passed with the speed of light.
Those two truths cannot coexist at the same time. The constitutional amendment process around state police has been going on for nearly 2 years now. The Joint Committee of the National Assembly has held a number of stakeholder engagements across the country, public hearings in 6 geopolitical zones. The Inspector General of Police, as far back as the former Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, had convened a national stakeholder engagement on this and has produced a report that is in the public domain. So this is a process that has been going on for a while. What the executive bill did was to cohere all the arguments and conversations that have been had around this issue into a coherent document that gives us the foundational architecture of dual policing in Nigeria. That is what the constitutional amendment does. And it has passed in the National Assembly, and it is now will shortly be on its way to the states. Without litigating the past, what we are focused on now is the National Policing Bill, which is the next stage in this process. I've said before that the constitutional amendment provides the foundational architecture. What we are doing now with the National Policing Bill is to build on that foundation and develop an actual implementable framework for state policing in Nigeria.
So, what are the terms of reference
of
your committee?
That is what I have to share with you. The terms of the
I'm
reference
saying,
of the
so
presidential working group.
what I'm asking for are the items of what will include. And did the president tell you, put these in? What are his preferences?
No, so the president has not dictated to us specifics of what will go into the National Policing Bill. What we have now is a desire to build something that will be implementable and will work for all Nigerians. The purpose of this committee, of this working group chaired by the Chief of Staff, is to dig into the question. Now that we have the architecture, now that we have the framework via the Constitution, what needs to happen next for this to be properly implementable?
So tell me, Mr. Nandube.
Yes.
What a lot of Nigerians are going to be interested is in the details. And they say, devil is in the detail.
Yes.
Not in the glassy, fanciful, surface level, decorative description of the bill. And the items that we go into it, where does the state and the powers of the governor lie here? Where is the funding coming from? The sustainability, the management, the separation of powers, federal, state, local policing. What are the most what is the primary agenda of the working committee? What would you like to focus on? What would you like this bill to look like? What is the agenda? What is the global picture?
All of the issues you have just raised, all of the questions you have asked are going to be answered in the National Policing Bill. This afternoon, when the Chief of Staff was speaking, he announced a national call for submissions and memoranda. And he also announced that the website of the National Policing of the working group has gone live. It's called the nationalpolicingbill.com.
If you go on it now?
It's live now, yes. You can go on the nationalpolicingbill.com.
National Policing
Bill.com.
Okay. My producer will bring it up now, so that Nigerians can see and look at what, okay, I see what it looks like, what the National Policing Bill means. Explore all teams, submit memorandum. So this is asking every Nigerian.
So we have opened up a national call for memoranda. If you have an interest in the subject matter, if you think that this is something that matters to you, that matters to Nigeria, and it should be something that you think matters to you, there are very few areas of public policy where governmental action affects the lives of everybody in the country. If you are a Nigerian living in Nigeria today, it doesn't matter whether you are wealthy, it doesn't matter whether you are poor, it doesn't matter whether you are educated or uneducated. At some point in your life, you will interact with the police. When we are doing reforms that affect lives as fundamentally as this one does, it is important for that process to be a consultative, engaging process that brings Nigerians together. That is what we are trying to do with this call for memoranda. We have opened up this process. Excuse me, hold on, Sean.
Yeah.
In addition to the call for memoranda, and in addition to the policy, the presidential working group that already exists, there is a policy advisory committee that has been constituted and approved by Mr. President that includes 26 Nigerians from across the country whose job will be to look through the drafts that come out of this process and to validate the process before it gets to final approval by Mr. President. That committee is going to be chaired by Justice Liman. This is part of our desire of the President's determination to make sure that this is an inclusive process. If you go to the website also, you will find out that we have identified 17 thematic areas that have to be addressed in the National Policing Bill that we are drafting. You asked me about the details, that the devil is in the details. We recognize that the devil is in fact in the details, and the work that of the working group is about finding the right answers to those details. The 17 thematic areas we are going to consider include national minimum policing standards, issues like state readiness, certification, and forms of certification. We are going to deal with federal and state policing architecture and cooperation, things like jurisdiction. There is when I met with my secretariat over the weekend, we spoke and considered some of these issues. One of the examples that came up was, imagine, for example, that a criminal is being chased from Anambra State, who has committed a crime in Anambra State, and he runs across and he races across the border into Enugu or into Kogi in this dual system. What happens in that moment? Whatever answer you think is the correct answer in this situation, that answer has to be settled as a matter of law. And those are the details that this working group is going to be working on with the support of the Policy Advisory Committee.
I see 17 areas open for Nigerians' input.
Yes.
And part of what you mentioned, constitutional status, powers, national minimum policing standards, state readiness certification and forms of certification, federal and state policing architecture and cooperation, inspection, compliance, police service commission architecture, state police service establishment and the model state law, and a whole number of all of these law, federal and state prison infrastructure, consequential amendment, transition, and commencement. These are very interesting aspects, and one hope that this will cover the ground, yes, like they say in law. In all of what is captured here, do you have a timeline in terms of when the memorandum will close, when you're sitting on it, when the scrutiny will begin? Because the draft will be ready a month from today. Is that right?
So, we have opened up the call for memoranda effective immediately. The Policy Advisory Committee is going to start meeting from next week to review the materials as they come in. We have a capable and competent secretariat already in place that includes a team of policy researchers, of policy analysts and researchers. We have a drafting team that is led by the Director of Legal Drafting in the Federal Ministry of Justice. All of these are in place, and we will be. This is a serious thing. You know, the government takes this seriously, and all the resources that we require to meet the timeline that we have set for ourselves will be made available, and all the personnel that are there that are required will be there to make sure that we meet the timeline we have set for ourselves.
So this is what the website looks like, the nationalpolicingbill.com. And if you look at if you engage some of the icons there, it says what the National Policing Bill means. So if you go to explore all themes, it shows you the 17 areas, the thematic areas. But again, which are what you can see, theme 1, theme 2, 17 of them, if you scroll down to the very end, gives you an idea of what the bill, what you can actually talk about, the themes that will be acceptable to the committee.
No, that is not it.
Okay.
These are the themes of what will go into the National Policing Bill.
Can anyone go outside of these themes?
Hold on. So these 17 thematic areas cover the scope of issues that will be addressed in the National Policing Bill. If you click on any one of these subject matter and you examine what the scope of this means, right? You think about operational powers, criminal justice. Everything you can think about from the jurisdictional issue that I just described to you is captured here.
Yeah.
Right? So everything that we're going to work on in the working group, everything that's going to go into the National Policing Bill, everything that's going to go into the consequential amendments is captured. So it's not a limitation. This is essentially the scope of work that exists for all of us. You asked about our terms of reference.
This is the time of reference.
Yes.
And I'm happy that this is clear now. And it's not only what you are saying, it's also what Nigerians can access themselves. If you go back to the home page, the landing page, it then tells you how you can navigate your way in submitting a memorandum.
Yes.
Who can submit a memorandum?
Everybody.
State government, state houses of assembly, state ministries of justice, the Nigerian police force. So there is a list of who may submit a memorandum. As it's been.
And if you go further down, it says everybody who has valid submission to make on the subject.
You must have a local standard in this respect. That's what it's saying.
No, your determination of what is valid is up to you.
Okay.
Right? If you believe that your opinion is valid and you are able to go up a little bit and you're able to prepare your memorandum in the format that has been laid out for you, you go ahead and submit it.
So I ask for the timeline.
Yes.
Right. Because a month from today is when the draft should be ready.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes.
So what are the timelines? Public engagement?
As of today, we have launched the call for memoranda. The secretariat is operational. The drafting is in place. As memoranda are received, they will be reviewed and considered by a separate policy research and analysis team, and whatever is useful from that will be extracted into the draft. Mind you, there is already a policy advisory committee comprised of capable experts who bring capable people who bring a wide variety of expertise to the matter, including 6 state attorney generals, and that committee is chaired by the retired Justice of the Court of Appeal, Justice Abdullahi Mohammed Liman. That committee is also in place and will be part of this process, reviewing the material as it comes in.
And there's a drafting committee also.
And there is a drafting team.
So there's a research team.
There's a research and policy team. There's a drafting team. There's a policy advisory committee.
Team also.
Yes, exactly. All of it working
at the same time.
Do we have
ex-police officers in that team?
Yes.
Do we have people who have American experience?
Yes. If you go on the website and click on the About Us
on the About Us
section at the top, right there at the top of it.
So scroll down. Scroll down. Let's go. Scroll down.
So first of all, here's the working group that I already spoke about. Go up a little bit, go up a bit. So that everybody can see. So here is the working group that I spoke about. This is the principals committee.
Yeah.
This is the committee that will approve what finally goes to Mr. President for his consideration.
Final draft.
The final draft
will
that
be sat on by these people.
By this committee.
And they represent the critical
stakeholder groups within government institutions that have responsibility for policing and national security as far as this is concerned. It is chaired by the Chief of Staff to the President, the Right Honorable Femi Gbajabiamila, and I am secretary of that committee, and it of course includes the Honorable Attorney General.
What is your own background?
I'm a lawyer. I'm a policy advisor.
Okay.
Yes,
so
and
this is also important. Femi is from as a former lawmaker and a lawyer equally, the Attorney General, looking at it from a global national perspective, the National Security Advisor from the national, the IG, of course, and the governors looking at it from the state level. But I'm imagining those who will look at it from the local level.
So keep going, keep scrolling down.
Scroll down.
Keep scrolling down, keep going down.
Go, man.
Okay. So, here you have the Policy Advisory Committee. Its membership draws from the judiciary, academia, police, and security agencies.
Okay.
And of course includes states' perspective brought in by the state's attorney generals.
Yeah.
This committee is chaired by Justice Mohammed Abdullahi Liman,
the
retired Justice of the Court of Appeal.
I know Wale Fakunda.
Wale Fakunda, of course, the former Attorney General.
I know Professor Kenny
Olukemi, the foremost historian on policing in Nigeria. Please scroll through.
Yeah.
You have Mohammed Mekudi, Dr. Charles Omole,
I know
Dr.
I know Charles Omole.
Yes.
These are experts in
you
the
asked
field.
Dr. DIG Babatunde Ogunyanwo.
I know Ogunyanwo very well. I mean, I think that's enough. If any Nigerian want to have an idea, they can go.
Everything you need to know about what we're doing is on this website.
This is one of the things that your government is getting get right, because we need to close the segment. And I hope that you are truthful to the Nigerian people. We are not just being deceived and this is not a flash in the pan. I hope that Nigerians will have a great deal of benefit at the end of the day. The ultimate agenda, which I imagine should be the president's agenda, is keeping Nigeria safe.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Joe.
Anandu Beim Mohalu, who is the Senior Special Assistant to President Bola Tinubu on Planning and Research, and who is also the Secretary on the Special Working Committee on the State Policing Bill. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
I appreciate your time.
Thank you very much. It's been nice having you.